Have you ever experienced people having preconceived ideas on how you should speak and behave? Well, there are all kinds of stereotypes in our world. Today, I would like to focus on those related to race and gender in an effort to bring about awareness as well as to inspire change. What kind of labels do you think people have attached to me in my first 11 years? Do I really look rough, tough, and dangerous? Are citizens of Jamaica the only ones allowed to wear their hair this way? Aren't I supposed to be able to read, write, and calculate? Will I graduate from high school in 7 years? What are the chances that I will become a professional athlete someday? What are my chances of becoming a lawyer, a doctor, a teacher, or other kind of professional? Will I look untrustworthy 5 to 10 years from now? Will these labels grow larger or smaller as I become older? What kind of labels do you think people have attached to other 11-year-olds from different racial backgrounds? Where do stereotypes come from? For some people, especially younger generations, stereotypes are born and kept alive in movies, TV shows, and through other forms of technology. These representations teach young people and others that certain groups of people think, speak, and act a certain way. The problem is that many individuals of all ages who have not interacted with others from these different racial groups rarely pause to ask themselves if it is realistic for them to behave the same way as characters do. When they meet people for the very first time, they often respond inappropriately based upon these limited impressions. Has this ever happened to you? Many stereotypes are also based off gender. A little while ago, I asked the members of the audience to write down the first adjective that came to mind regarding the opposite gender. The results of this survey have been collected here. Where should I begin? And this is actually the female one. And this is the male. Women are multitasking. Well, I have to say my mom is, but because she does more than one thing at once, like taking care of her kids while cooking. Females are flighty. Well, that's not exactly true. Males are unemotional. Emotionally distant generally believes that the world is their playground, and it's socially acceptable for boys to make more and or bigger mistakes than girls. This is another one for the females, but it doesn't really relate to my topic. But it says, women are stronger than they think. Do you see where this is going? Who benefits from these catch-all categories? Actor? Man. Actors or actresses, advertisers, politicians, salespeople, educators, me, you, who? Obviously, we can bring an end to stereotypes, but how? What can you or I or we do personally to bring an end to them? We can work on bringing an end to stereotypes by not feeding into them. By this, I mean not using them ourselves. But in order to do this, we must be aware of our thoughts, words, and actions. I think it is also helpful to broaden our knowledge of others by getting to know people from different racial backgrounds and our opposite gender better. We can do this best by engaging individuals in lots of meaningful conversations, like this one. And if someone tries to cast you in a certain mold, make them aware of their misconception as politely as possible. Recently, I found a quote by Chinese actress Joan Chen about how she deals with this type of behavior. She said, quote, "There are a lot of stereotypes to be broken, which I think a lot of us are doing. What I do is, as soon as people try to pin me down to one kind of part, I'll play a very different role so it explodes that stereotype." Another quote that I like is from the late African-American Congresswoman and educator Shirley Chisholm. She said, quote, "The emotional, sexual, and psychological stereotyping of females begins when a doctor says, 'It's a girl.'" End quote. I would add that not only are these standards attached at birth, but this is true for baby boys as well. The gender box activity I did before displays how fast any of us can come up with a limited image of others. But when we, as people, are more aware of this reoccurring action of ours, we stop using these labels as much. In conclusion, it is my opinion that stereotypes do not benefit anyone and are in fact both hurtful and harmful to everyone. Placing labels on people is like putting them in a box and not allowing them to reveal themselves to us. I would like to end this talk with a brief quote of my own. "Just because we are all equal doesn't mean we're all the same." Thank you.